Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Full Circle. This is a miniseries airing on Max. I'm going to talk about all 6 episodes as a whole. So if you haven't seen this, go check it out. I will say this is just a review. There will be no big spoilers for anything. But either way, if you want to go into the series not knowing much, you know. So this is a miniseries about an investigation into a botched kidnapping that uncovers a long-held secret connecting multiple characters and cultures in present-day New York. The series is directed by Steven Soderbergh and then created by Ed Solomon. It stars Sassy Beats, Claire Dane, Jim Gaffigan, Timothy Oliphant, CCH Pounder, Dennis Quaid, Faldud Sharma, and introducing some really great actors, Adia, Shay Cole, and Gerald Jones. These are some of the younger characters in the series. I was scrolling through figuring out what to watch next, and I saw Timothy Oliphant in the poster for this series. I'm a big fan of Timothy Oliphant. I'm also a big fan of Claire Dane. So even though I haven't seen Homeland, maybe that's something I should check out. But I saw both of them in the poster. I was like, okay, let's take a look at this. Then I saw that CCH Pounder is also in the show, who I'm a big fan of, like from The Shield, some of the stuff that she's done in Law and Order, like all those, a lot of police procedurals, right? But she plays a completely different role here. In this show, she plays a role of Sabitri Mahabir, uh, and they portray a culture that I'm not very familiar with. As I mentioned in the synopsis, there's a lot of emphasis in the culture from the South American country of Guyana, and specifically part of the population that lives in New York. That's kind of who all these people kind of get involved with this mystery. Now, the show starts off, to me it felt in a very weird spot because I feel like the first few episodes were trying to do a lot, setting up this mystery, setting up this this chain of events, setting up the full cast. But the more I kept watching, the more I really felt like, okay, things are clicking into place. The show has had enough room to breathe. I think now that all episodes are out, it'll be easier for the show maybe to find a little bit of an audience, because I would have imagined watching this week to week. I watched everything in like in a couple of days. Like I watched 3 and 3 episodes really. Um, and yeah, the more I watched the show, the more that the mystery evolved, and I really was hooked on what was going on. And big part of that is because, first of all, we follow Sassy Beat, who is a detective or an investigator with the USPIS, which is the the Postal Service like investigation division, right? So these are federal agents. So there's definitely, I was interested to figure out why an agency like that would be involved in something like this. Then we have Claire Danes and Timothy Oliphant, who are married in the show. Claire Danes' dad is portrayed by Dennis Quaid here, who plays like this celebrity chef person, TV personality who's gotten some fame. Nothing that is too crazy, but it's enough that not only does it allow them to live comfortably and make it their own little kind of like empire out of that. Think of like a bit of a not as big as Gordon Ramsay, but something very similar, where it's like, oh, they have a TV show, but they're also like they're all really hyped up on their own fame. Yeah, Dennis Quaid plays this character pretty unhinged. The look of this character, for some reason, the character has a ponytail. That's just like the weirdest thing. But I think Dennis Quaid plays this like clueless, rich person that, like they have a lot of resources, and a lot of people that do stuff for them, which is the reason why he's kind of like has a comfortable life. But there's also a lot of things that he may not be aware of like that helped him get to that place of success. Uh, and this all really revolves around that mystery. Like I said, I think following Sassy Beat, who is a very complicated character. She has a relationship that she's having issues with, her work relationship with Jim Gaffigan, who plays her immediate supervisor. is also very complex. Like they don't like each other, but they know they have to work together, not only to get things done at the USPIS, but also because they both want to keep moving up in the organization. So they depend a lot on each other, and he can't just get rid of her because obviously that would reflect poorly on him. We have Faldut Sharma, who plays Garmin Harry, who is kind of like the fixer for everything that CCH Pounder's character needs. Like he's the right hand person of CCH Pounder's character. And then we have Adia, who plays Natalia, and Shay Cole, who plays Xavier, and Gerald Jones, who play Louis, who are these kids who are from Guyana, and they're just trying to, you know, they're trying to find their spot in this neighborhood, in this world, or even maybe trying to go home, uh, but they're kind of lost, and all these people see them as useful tools that uh, that are just there for their benefit, right? And but these are just kids, like they're young and they're inexperienced and they don't know what's going on, and they're like they just want to go home, and uh, and this show just takes them on like the worst ride possible. Now, all this also revolves around some of like I mentioned, the culture from Guyana and their superstitions and their religions, and like some of the rituals that they are trying to uh, make come through. Like all those things also play a factor in the show. So I wasn't sure at the beginning if this show was going to go into a more supernatural phase or into a more procedural phase, but I think it weaves you in and out. Um, I would say the first episode felt to me like one of the better episodes from like Law and Order or Law and Order SVU or Criminal. One of those, one of those shows. But as the show evolved and had more room to breathe, and also had you know gave the actors enough time to play with these performances and the characters and watch them grow and interact with each other. I think a lot of these characters, uh, and there's a lot of themes about the circle, which is why the series is called this. But a lot of the characters interact with each other and they have connections that maybe they were not expecting. So I don't know if every character I named interacted with everyone else. Maybe CCH Pounder is probably one of the characters that interacts with the least amount of people, but still, she interacts with a lot of people. And as the episodes go by, the tension builds, where it finally has to resolve, right? Um, when I was watching the sixth episode, I wasn't sure that there were. I looked online to see if there was going to be more because I didn't think they were going to be able to close out this story. But I don't think that's what this show's about. I don't think the show is about getting to a place where the audience feel comfortable with the ending. It just gets to a place where the story has ended for these characters. So not everything is resolved in is in a neat and clean fashion. Some of these things just happen to be resolved, and that's kind of where we go from there. So, like I said, the show is a little bit convoluted. Also, the episodes are very weirdly paced. Some of them are like an hour long. Some of them are just 40 minutes. So I don't know. I think to me, watching all these in succession felt better than having to wait week to week because I would have been very confused at the end of some of these. I think, but yeah, overall, I think it's a decent show. I think it has a lot of like. To me, my favorite part was the performances. I think that's where the show really, really brought their A game, because all these actors, that are here, whether it's somebody that's very experienced or some of these newcomers, like they really nail their performances and they bring like all like whenever the kids were struggling with something, and I call them kids, but they're like teenagers, maybe even older, but they just look very young. Um, like it made me feel for them. It made me worry about like, oh shit, what's gonna happen to them next, and who's gonna try to take advantage of them now, or like how are they gonna be, because they're still very naive. So, and then also just as we peel back all the layers and we start finding out like maybe the characters you thought were not, were gonna be in the wrong here are not fully in the wrong, or vice versa, right? Maybe the characters you were kind of rooting for are some of the characters that are probably the bad ones, I guess you can call them. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to um, there's a lot to unpack about this show, but I just wanted to make a review for the whole series. overall, just to really put something out there that tells you that this show, although it's not as clean and polished as some of the other stuff that's on HBO, I think it still presents so many interesting ideas. Also, Steven Soderbergh is a fantastic director, so the show looks great, has some really interesting angles. It has some scenes where, like, Steven Soderbergh really knows how to build up attention, or just how to get a heist or a very convoluted scene, like, to seem very effortless. um, and he's just a very efficient director, I feel, and maybe that's why some of those episodes are a little bit shorter. So I don't know if this comes from any specific source material, if it's an adaptation of anything, or if it's just truly original from Ed Solomon. But I the fact that I started watching it and then I couldn't really stop watching it until it was very late and I had to go to sleep. So then I watched the rest the next day. Like, it's those things that really made me want to make a video to talk about this show. So overall, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I'll check out anything with Timothy Oliphant because he's one of my favorite actors. I just think he's just so good. And same for Claire Danes. Like, she's fantastic, which is one of the reasons I can't figure out why I haven't seen Homeland. But if you watch this show, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff in the channel. And as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.